Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of It's About Time. Well, spring is approaching here as we're getting into the Final Four, and my Kansas Jayhawks have advanced for the first time in 6 years, so I am extremely happy. That's why I'm sporting what I'm sporting today. But other than that, with spring just around the corner, it is April 1st tomorrow, it is March 31st right now. What type of season are we in, Christopher?
We are fast approaching spring, even though it is springtime.
And what does
still
spring
feels
bring?
like winter. Spring? I don't know. What does spring bring?
Allergies.
Allergies, of course.
It's allergy season. And what a great, appropriate time to do this type of episode. It's actually a very important episode we're doing as springtime is hit. It's allergy season. So before we get into our topic today, we're going to go on our customary journey of what's on the wrist. I will show you mine first off. And if you guys have watched my episode of The Bachelor recently, you have found out that my Omega Constellation 8500 was the winner. And therefore, there is your winner right there. And I have been wearing it on and off recently, and it has been running dead on time per day. So I am enjoying this in my collection. Christopher, what's on your wrist?
I don't have a watch on at the moment. However, I was wearing this swatch before. It has an interesting swirl when you turn it around there, and it winds it up. It's automatic, Swiss made, basic entry-level Swiss watch, nothing fancy. But this is going to be a very important episode we're going to dive into right now as to why I chose to wear the swatch.
Absolutely. So let's get into it. I'm not sure a lot of people even realize this, but there's a significant population that only don't wear watches for a certain type of reasons. And one of the reasons is because they're allergic to them. And you may say to yourself, how is somebody allergic to a watch? Well, what we found out is that the back of 95% of watches, I'll give an example with this Luminox, does have nickel in it. And nickel is a certain type of metal that they put on watch casings, and specifically on watch case backs. The reason why they do it, I'm not quite sure, but it is a certain component in the metal that they use. And there are a lot of people that are allergic to nickel, believe it or not. I'm going to have Chris tell his story on what would happen to himself when he had a watch that had a nickel back plating on it. Chris, what happened to you?
Yeah, all right, guys, let's dive into it. Okay, so I've been noticing, or I was noticing, especially every time I come back from the gym, if I have my watch and I get a little sweaty, the sweat would mix with the nickel, and it would cause a really severe allergic reaction. The allergic reaction got so bad I had to go to the dermatologist. And you can go to your dermatologist, and they will prescribe for you a variety of different creams based on what your doctor thinks is the best for you. So if you do have a nickel allergy, or you happen to notice that there's a lot of redness and skin irritation and skin coming up, you most likely have a nickel allergy. And the first thing you want to do is go to the dermatologist, have it looked at, get the right prescription, and then you should do exactly what I did. I got rid of all my carbon nickel watches. So what do I use now? I use a swatch. It's a little cheaper, but they have aluminum. And I don't know if there's any aluminum allergies out there. However, you can see clearly that this watch does not have any nickel in it.
And swatch is definitely one way to go if you do have a nickel allergy. And like Krista said, they use aluminum, they do not use nickel. So that is definitely one option that you can take. There are other options as well if you do have nickel allergies to watches. The second being any type of watch that has a plastic back casing. And you can find these there are some certain type of divers watches that do have it. The only couple brands that I know that do not use a nickel back plating are, as Chris said, Swatch, which does use primarily aluminum. Or if you notice on this type of watch, okay, which is Swatch, this is a plastic case. Okay, so you're not going to have that allergic reaction to nickel if you have plastic in lieu of nickel.
Now, I have to interrupt Drew for a moment. If you absolutely love your watch and you have to have a nickel backing, that should be okay. What you can do is you can use this Jewelry Shield liquid here. I'll put it up so you can see. It's just called jewelry shield, and it's made by a company called Euro Tool.
Okay.
You guys can see that okay? It's coming out. All right.
And this you can usually get on Amazon for about $8. Okay, and we're going to actually demonstrate this for you right now on how to use this. What you do is you would buy it on Amazon for about $8, take it out of the case as such, and this, like I said, if you have to wear, and a lot of people have expensive watches with nickel backplate and they don't want to get rid of them. So what do? Do I sell them? You don't have to. This is, like I said, another option that you can do. Okay, so you would take this, and on the directions on the back, Chris, if you would like to read on how to apply it.
Okay, so you're just going to use it as any nail polish remover would be. You just dab it in there, and you just paint it right on.
Okay, so you can see what I'm doing over here is I'm using this just like Chris is saying. Like when women do get manicures, good thing I'm not a manicurist. But here I'm just painting a coating on the actual watch itself. And what this does is it acts as a seal. If anybody has ever had, when they get bandaged and bruised, they use a thing called, what am I looking for? Bowlers wear it a lot. A new skin. Okay, new skin is a liquid bandage. And that's exactly what this thing is. It's a liquid bandage for watch case backing. So that's basically what it is.
And once you put the first coating on, it's recommended to let it dry for at least 20 minutes, and it's recommended you apply at least one more coating just to give you that extra leeway.
Right, and what this should do is, like I said, it acts as a seal, and therefore your skin does not come in contact with the nickel-based watch case. It comes in contact with this new skin-like liquid right here. Okay, so there you go. And you just got to let it dry for about 20 minutes. You can apply another coat if you want, or you can leave it as is. Okay, so you can see it's just a shiny liquid, again, like nail polish remover. And it costs about $8 on Amazon or eBay, anywhere you want to go to get that. So, that is another option if you like to keep your watches that you currently have. Also another option, again, you have to think outside the box. If you're allergic to nickel, obviously you can't use nickel. You would have to use a different substance. So like I mentioned before, certain watches use plastic case backs like this. Others, or like this one, okay. Others use aluminum case backs, such as this Swatch. Swatch and Skagen do a lot of that. Between aluminum and plastic case backs, Skagen is actually owned by Fossil, believe it or not, and Swatch is its own group. They own other brands like Omega and other brands as well, but they are the entry-level Swiss watch with plastic case backs and aluminum case backs. So again, you can go that route. And finally, if you want to go the more expensive route, and let's say you want to get rid of all your nickel plated case back watches that are really expensive, you can trade them all in and go for the real creme de la creme and go for an all gold watch. Okay, if you have a solid gold watch, I have a solid gold Concord Mariner, you're not going to have that problem either.
As long as you don't have a gold allergy, which some people have.
Exactly. As long as you don't have an allergy that's where you're allergic to gold, you're not going to have that problem either. So it's all about thinking outside the box. So if we do summarize, okay, number one, you cannot wear a watch at all, you're not going to have a problem. Number two, you can take your existing watches, and again, go with Jewelry Shield, and paint your coating on your current existing watches, and you shouldn't have that problem either. Number three, you can go with different case back materials, such as aluminum, such as plastic, or solid gold.
And if you do have that nickel allergy, again, if your skin does react, be sure to see your dermatologist. They'll get you the right prescription, and then you can either sell and get rid of your nickel-plated watches, or you can put this polish on. So I think hopefully this video has helped you guys tremendously. I know it's going to, help a lot of people, and it certainly is going to help me remember to not wear a nickel watch anymore.
And have you had any reaction since you've gone to the plastic?
No, I have not had any reaction whatsoever to the aluminum or the plastic. And I've even taken them to the gym. I've gotten sweaty, left the watch on, no reaction. So
And
Yeah.
it's great that I got Chris here to do this episode with me, because it helps if I'm talking to somebody who's actually had this reaction before. Because I have never had this problem, but I need to bring somebody on who has had this problem and who has had this allergic reaction.
And if you have had this allergic reaction, please share your story and comment so our viewers here can see what your story and experience has been like.
Absolutely. Guys, in the future episodes, we're going to have Jared back here. I know he's been absent for quite a while, but we will have him back to join us as well, so he can update you on what's been going on with his neck of the woods. And also, next week, we're going to be in Atlantic City. I'm going to be with one of my watchmakers, Nishan, and we're going to be at the Borgata, and we're going to be updating you on watch dial corrosion and how to avoid it and how it happens. So stay tuned for that episode as well. Chris, I'd like to thank you today for being with me.
It's been a pleasure, buddy.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Best bud over here. And again, guys, thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll see you on another episode of It's About Time and Rock Chalk Jayhawk.